Alright, I'll try to get a little quick rundown on installing this winch. This is going on a 2020 Polaris Ranger 1000 with electric power steering, and it has a bumper on the front. Well, it has this bumper on the front. So I'm putting a KFI on it. This is my grandpa's side by side. He just burned up the factory winches on it. But I've used KFI a few times, and I'm a big fan just because I've got a couple of their winches on my other side by sides, and I've never had a problem out of them. They work like they should and do a good job. But it's the wide, so it's the AS50WX. So it's wider than normal, your spool is. And supposedly on this one oddball year, you have to use the wide because there's a bolt that mounts somewhere on the bumper that it has to strap. Or so that's what it said. And then you'll need the Polaris Ranger 1000 winch mount. It came with this. There's the 101480 part number. This is pretty much the parts that come in it. Wiring, winch, the mounts, fire lead, a few other things. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. You can actually get into everything on this one pretty easy. It mounts right in here, up there. And I think the bracket comes and actually sticks over where these are. But I'm going to get stuff took apart, and then I'll start putting it together, and I'll come back whenever some mounts are going on. Alright, bumper's off. It ain't but 4 bolts, 15mm bolts. There's one on each side up here on the top, and then one that comes through the bottom on both sides. Bumper's laying there. Once you do that, you got to put the mounting bracket onto the winch. So the winch mounts upside down to this bracket. You've got 2 pieces to it, the big one and then the piece that holds your fire lead, whatever this is. Put these bolts in, just loosen, really tighten. And then this mounting bracket here, put the bolts on it. I want to bring it back up here to the front. And it's going to mount right here where these hoses are. So we'll put that on. And then the bumper should slide up. The fire lead will come out over the end, slide up and under it and mount right there. And then the winch should be mounted. That's all they should be to that part. So, come into any hiccups, I'll let you know about them. So I did run into a little problem. So in the instructions, it tells you to put this together, this. So if you read, they tell you not to put the fire lead, whatever what the rollers are, before you put the bumper on. I thought they meant this piece out here, but I guess they meant the whole bracket, because the bumper can't come up here and slide under this. And I'm not even for sure we'll end up needing it, because I think you can use this original hoe. And also, you've got to clock your power cable inputs. So on your winches, you only got 2 bolt holes here, and they go all the way up here and screw in, but they've got multiple holes, so you can rotate this in different spots. So from factory, they're straight up and down. So I clocked it one bolt hole over to get it here. If not, this, which is your positive, sits right next to where this bumper comes through here, and there's no clearance, so you're going to end up hitting there and arcing and have a short. So you have to clock that. But I think that's all I've run into so far. So now I'm going to put the bumper on it and see how everything lines up. And see what it looks like. See if I'm going to use that other bracket or not. Alright, not real for sure where I left off at on here. I had to go get my youngins off the bus, but anyway, I'll try to get back. So I ended up not using the KFI roller. I'm not a big fan of rollers with the rope winches, because I've had them to pull in real bad situations and get hung in between here. The cables can do it too, but they don't seem to do it as bad. But this one, because it already had a winch, we already had this fairway for the rope, so I just put it back on. You can see how, and I didn't use the plate. Plate comes down and then this bolt, so everything here is good and solid together. And I will say this, on this you will not be able to use the wiring that comes with it. You'll not be able to use the leads that are supposed to go back to your battery. They're nowhere near long enough. I think KFI offers like an extension kit, but these here ain't even gonna get you close. The only way that you would be able to get to the battery with what they send you is to use the ones that goes to your winch, and then those cables ain't long enough to make it down to your winch. So I used where the winch was already in here. I went ahead and used their wires that they had for their hot and their ground, and then you do your yellow and blue going to your winch. Yellow is positive on the winch, blue's negative. If you get them mixed up, all it'll do is your winch act or work opposite of what it should. Then your wiring kit that goes in for your toggle switch, you have to put the white lead under the ground, and then you just plug up green and black, send it through your firewall right here, and take it to the inside. And we'll show you. I already talked about it earlier, but get the flashlight out here. There's why you have to clock that in. So there's your positive in yellow, negative in blue. But if you don't clock this 45 degrees, it's sicking right up here. And it's going to hit your bumper right there. Take a chance of hitting your bumper if you was to ever flex or something other in the wrong way. Anyway, in here, if I can get in here. So I put the switch out here, so you cut out your slot and run your switch through, and then once you get it through, you should be able to, as long as your slot's good, you should be able to just pop it in there. There it is. And then you've got to pick up key power. In the instructions, they tell you to use the orange wire that's already out there. Well, I used the red right here off of your DC 12 volt. That's key power. The only reason I used it was because it was already spliced in there from the winch that came with it. So I didn't figure I needed to splice another wire. I just used what they had and spliced in the same spot. But that's pretty much it. Put everything back together. They cut a big awful hole whenever they put the switch in, so I'll have to try to find him something to fix that with. That's pretty much it. That's what it looks like. I don't know if that helped anybody. If it did, good. If not, sorry you watched all this for nothing. But if you got any questions, post them. I'll try to answer them. Y'all have a good one.